What if your words could reshape the beliefs of an entire empire and echo across millennia? Over 2,000 years before Christianity and Islam, one man dared to challenge the spiritual order of his world. His name was Zoroaster, also known as Zarathustra, a visionary whose philosophy would influence kings, inspire philosophers, and quietly shape the course of human thought. Born somewhere between 1500 and 1000 BCE, likely in the northeastern regions of ancient Persia, Zoroaster entered a society dominated by complex rituals, animal sacrifices, and devotion to a host of unpredictable deities. But from a young age, he showed a questioning mind, uneasy with blind tradition and the fear-based worship that surrounded him. Where others saw divine favour in blood offerings and rigid ceremonies, Zoroaster saw confusion, a system built not on truth, but on power. According to tradition, at the age of 30, he experienced a transformative revelation while standing by the waters of the Daitya River. In this vision, he encountered Vohu Mana, the spirit of good purpose, who led him into the presence of Ahura Mazda, the wise lord. This moment planted the foundation of Zoroaster's belief that the universe was governed not by chaotic gods demanding sacrifice, but by a single source of wisdom, representing light, order, and truth. However, spreading such a radical idea was anything but easy. Priests who held sway over the people viewed his message as a threat to their influence. Their status depended on elaborate rites and costly rituals, systems that enriched them while keeping the masses in spiritual dependency. Zoroaster's call for personal responsibility, his insistence that salvation rested not on offerings but on the choices one makes, undermined their authority. His rejection of animal sacrifice, a practice that fed both religious custom and economic gain, stirred outrage among the established clergy. The political leaders of the time also bristled at the suggestion that every individual, regardless of status, bore responsibility for their actions. The notion that ethical behaviour, not birthright or power, determine one's spiritual worth challenged the very hierarchy they depended upon. Faced with hostility, ridicule, and at times outright persecution, Zoroaster did not retreat. For years he travelled from village to village, preaching the central themes of his faith: free will, moral accountability, and the pursuit of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. His words called for a shift away from fear toward ethical living, a life guided by conscious choices, compassion, and integrity. But prophets often walk lonely roads. Zoroaster's teachings found few followers at first. Many dismissed his words as dangerous or naive, unwilling to abandon traditions that had shaped their identities for generations. Yet he continued, unwavering, planting seeds of change wherever he went. Eventually, Zoroaster's perseverance met opportunity. He found an ally in King Vishtaspa, a regional ruler whose court became the first to fully embrace the new faith. Whether through philosophical persuasion, reported healing miracles, or the sheer clarity of his message, Zoroaster gained the king's support, a turning point that transformed his teachings from wandering sermon to structured movement. With the backing of Vishtaspa, Zoroastrianism began to spread through Persia, influencing warriors, farmers, nobles, and scholars alike. At the heart of Zoroaster's message was a bold promise that every individual matters. Life, he taught, is a battlefield between asha, truth, order, and righteousness, and druj, deceit, chaos, and destruction. Each human being plays an active role in this cosmic struggle, not as a passive subject, but as a free agent capable of choosing the path of honesty and kindness. His doctrine introduced concepts that were groundbreaking for their time. One of the most striking was the idea of judgment after death. Zoroaster described the Chinvat Bridge, a crossing that every soul must face after life ends. Those who lived with virtue would find the bridge wide and easy to cross, leading them into the house of song, a realm of peace and harmony. Those who had chosen lies and cruelty would find the bridge narrow and treacherous, plunging them into darkness. This belief in moral consequence, that one's destiny rests on ethical choices, not on ritual or privilege, would echo across centuries. Elements of Zoroaster's thinking can be traced in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic teachings on angels, demons, heaven and hell. Yet Zoroaster was not a prophet of fear. Unlike many spiritual figures depicted as stern or distant, he spoke often of joy, balance and gratitude. He urged his followers to care for the earth, respect animals, and nurture the environment, seeing all creation as worthy of honour. Fire, a symbol central to Zoroastrian practice, represented not an object of worship, but a beacon of purity, clarity, and divine presence, a reflection of Ahura Mazda's brilliance in the physical world. Rather than demand submission, Zoroaster encouraged active participation in life's moral challenges. He called on people to think deeply, to speak truthfully, and to act with generosity, qualities that remain strikingly relevant across cultures and eras. Although much of the precise detail of his life remains lost to time, and historical accounts often blur with legend, what endures is the influence of his voice, a call toward justice, wisdom, and ethical freedom. Zoroaster is believed to have died around 551 BCE, reportedly killed during an attack on a sacred fire temple. But his vision of a world shaped by human choice and moral clarity continues to inspire long after his earthly journey ended.